Lesson 5.1, Measuring and Drawing Angles. The first thing we're going to go over today is the symbols with angles. This first one is the angle symbol. So you would write the angle symbol and then the name of the angle after it. The second one is the circle after the number. And this is degrees, which is how you measure angles. There are 4 different types of angles that we're going to be learning about. This should be review from last year. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees, so it's anything from 89 degrees to 1 degree. So it would look like this, and it's a smaller angle. A right angle is exactly 90 degrees. It can't be more, can't be less. It has to be exactly 90 degrees. And they always have a square in the corner showing the angle, so you know that it's a right angle. An obtuse angle is always more than 90 degrees, so it's anywhere from 91 degrees to 179 degrees, so it's a bigger angle. And a straight angle is exactly 180 degrees, and it's called a straight angle because it looks like a straight line. There's 2 different ways to name angles. You can either name it by a single capital letter, which is the name of the vertex where the 2 points meet. So this angle, this example would be angle B, or if you look, I can use the angle symbol instead of writing out the word angle. The other way to name an angle is with 3 capital letters. The first letter would name one side of the angle, the second letter would name the vertex, and the third letter would name the other side of the angle. So this would be angle ABC, or here again I can use the angle sign instead of writing the word angle. This is a protractor. This is how you measure angles. You guys have all seen these before from last year and probably even the year before. If you will notice that there are the same numbers on the outside of the protractor and on the inside of the protractor. That's because some angles open to the right and some angles open to the left. So you need to make sure that you choose the correct number when you're measuring an angle. One way you can do this is to figure out, before you measure the angle, figure out whether it's an acute angle or an obtuse angle, and that could help you pick the right number. Also, if you look at the inside of the protractor, it says if the opening to the angle is to the right, then you use the inside numbers as your measurement. If the opening to the angle is to the left, you use the outside numbers. So to use the protractor, all you do is you line the vertex of the angle, which is where the 2 points meet. You line that up on the 0 on the projector, and then also make sure that you use the correct number. Before you measure, always classify the angles as acute, right, obtuse, or straight. This is like an estimation when you estimate for multiplication problems or division problems, so you can go back and check your answer. So make sure that you always do that. Then you use the protractor to measure the angle, and then make sure that your answer makes sense based on the type of angle that it should be. So if you estimate that it's, or if you look at it and it's an acute angle and you get 179 degrees, something is wrong because 179 degrees would be an obtuse angle. Here's some examples. So on these, the angle is red, and then the lines that you measure with are these lines with the orange dot. So what you have to do is you have to figure out what type of angle it is, and in this case I can look at this red line and see that it's an acute angle because it's smaller than 90 degrees. Step 2 would be to line up this line right here with 0. So this line is 0, so it's going to be lined up with that one. And then I pull this one over until the other red line, and I see that this angle is 60 degrees. Then I go back and double check, is 60 degrees an acute angle? Yes, it is, so my answer is correct. Here's one other example. So I have my 0 line lined up with my angle, and I pull this one over, and this angle is 90 degrees, if I can get my dot right. And so I make sure that it's right. Is that a 90-degree angle? It's a right angle. In the last example, this one I look at and I say it's a really big angle. I can see that it's larger than 90 degrees. So this type of angle is an obtuse angle. That way I can compare my answer when I'm done. So I line this one up with 0 over here and pull this one up to here. And I find that measuring this angle, that it is 140 degrees, which is an obtuse angle, so my answer is correct.